The first gift hit the wall at exactly 3:47 in the afternoon. My sister Jessica didn't drop it. She threw it. It was a ceramic dinosaur. Jacob had been asking for it since Christmas. I had saved for months to buy it. I worked extra shifts at the diner on weekends. I skipped my morning coffee for weeks. I did it all for that dinosaur. The dinosaur shattered into pieces. White shards scattered across the hardwood floor. Jacob's face went pale. His lips started trembling. "Whoops," Jessica said. She wasn't sorry. She wasn't even pretending to be sorry. She looked at me and smiled. That smile. I knew that smile. She had been smiling at me like that since we were children. Since she broke my dolls. Since she tore my drawings. Since she told my parents I was lying when I wasn't. The second gift was a drone. Still in its box. The box was wrapped in blue paper. Jacob had picked the paper himself. He spent 10 minutes choosing the perfect roll. Jessica grabbed the box. She threw it against the floor. Hard. The plastic cracked. The propellers flew across the room. One of them landed near my mother's feet. She didn't say anything. She just watched. My father, Robert, laughed. A deep, rumbling laugh. He was sitting in his armchair. His arms were crossed. His legs were crossed. He looked like a king watching a jester perform. "That's what he gets," my father said. "He's too old for toys anyway." "He's 8, I said. My voice was quiet. I was trying to stay calm. "He's a child. He's spoiled," my father said. "You've made him soft." Jacob was still standing in the doorway. He hadn't moved. His hands were shaking. His eyes were wet. "Mommy," he whispered. His voice was small. "Why are they doing this?" I didn't have an answer. I never had an answer. I had been asking the same question for 41 years. The third gift was a glass figurine. A blue bird. Delicate. Fragile. Jacob's father had sent it from California. He was stationed there for work. He couldn't make it to the party. He sent the bird instead. He wrote a note. "To my brave boy. Love, Dad." Jessica saw the bird. Her eyes lit up. Not with joy. With something else. Something darker. "Oh, how precious," she said. "Daddy's little soldier." She picked up the bird. She held it in front of her face. She looked at it like she was deciding something. Then she dropped it. No, not dropped. She opened her fingers and let it fall. Like she was releasing a prisoner. The bird hit the floor. It shattered into a dozen pieces. Blue glass scattered everywhere. Tiny shards caught the light. They looked like pieces of the sky. Jacob started to cry. Not loud. Not wailing. Quiet. Hopeless. The kind of cry that breaks a mother's heart. "Mommy," he said. His voice was cracking. "My bird. Daddy's bird." I knelt down beside him. I wrapped my arms around him. His whole body was shaking. "I'm here, baby. Mommy's here." Jessica laughed. A short, sharp sound. "It's just a stupid bird," she said. "He'll get over it." My mother nodded. "Boys are resilient," she said. "He won't even remember this tomorrow." I would remember. I would remember every second. Every laugh. Every crash. Every tear. And I had proof. I have been teaching elementary school for 14 years. Same school. Same grade. Same blue walls with the alphabet border. I have seen children lie. I have seen children cheat. I have seen children hurt each other for no reason. I learned one thing. The truth doesn't matter if you can't prove it. People forget. People lie. People rewrite history to make themselves the heroes. The only way to protect yourself is to have evidence. So I record everything. Family dinners. Birthday parties. Holidays. Phone calls. Conversations. Every gift. Every promise. Every threat. My family thinks I'm paranoid. They don't know I'm prepared. The camera was small. Black. Hidden in the bookshelf. Pointed at the living room. I had placed it there before the guests arrived. I had checked the battery. I had checked the memory card. I had checked the angle. The red light was blinking. It caught everything. Jessica's smile. Robert's laugh. Jacob's tears. Every broken gift. Every cruel word. I would need that footage. Sooner than I thought. After Jessica destroyed the last gift, she looked at me. She walked closer. Her heels clicked on the hardwood floor. She stopped inches from my face. "What are you going to do about it, Sarah?" she said. "Cry." I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I just stood there, silent, watching. She waited for a reaction. She wanted me to lose control. She wanted me to scream, to push her, to give my father a reason to call me unstable. I gave her nothing. She smirked. That's what I thought. My father stood up from his armchair. He walked to the kitchen. He opened the trash can. He picked up Jacob's birthday cake. The one I had ordered from the bakery downtown. The one Jacob had been looking forward to for weeks. The one with the blue frosting and the little dinosaurs on top. He dropped it in the trash. The thud was loud. Final. Cruel. "There's no reason to celebrate," my father said. "Not after this display." "What display?" I asked. My voice was still calm. "She broke his gifts," he cried. "That's not a display. That's a child being hurt. You've always been dramatic, Sarah. You've always played the victim. It's exhausting." He walked out. My mother followed. She didn't look at me. She didn't look at Jacob. She just walked out the door like she was leaving a restaurant she didn't like. Jessica lingered for a moment. She looked at the wreckage. The broken dinosaur. The cracked drone. The shattered bird. The tears on my son's face. "Happy birthday, Jacob," she said. Then she left. The door closed behind her. The lock clicked. I stood in the silence. Jacob was crying against my chest. His small hands were gripping my shirt. "Mommy," he said. "Why do they hate us?" I didn't have an answer. I never had an answer. But I had the footage. I had the recordings. I had years of evidence. My father's voice on tape. My sister's plans. Their schemes to take my house. To take my money. To break me so they could build themselves up. In 48 hours, my father was planning to call a family meeting. He was going to demand that I sell my house. He was going to say it was for the family. He was going to say I owed them. He didn't know I knew. He didn't know I was ready. He didn't know that this time, he had gone too far. I kissed the top of Jacob's head. I wiped his tears with my sleeve. "They don't hate us, baby. They just don't know how to love." Is that the same thing? I didn't answer. Because maybe it was. I picked up my phone. I opened the folder where I keep all the evidence. The recordings. The documents. The photographs. Years of proof that my family had been trying to destroy me. I sent a message to my lawyer. "It's time. Send the papers." She replied within seconds. Finally. I looked at the clock on the wall. 4:15 p.m. The whole thing had taken less than 30 minutes. 30 minutes to break my son's heart. 30 minutes to show me who they really were. 30 minutes to remind me why I stopped hoping they would ever change. I picked up the broom. I started sweeping the broken glass. Jacob sat on the couch, hugging a pillow, watching me. "Mommy," he said. "Are we going to be okay?" "Yes, baby. We're going to be more than okay." "How do you know?" "Because I have a plan. Because I have proof. Because this time, I'm not going to let them win." He nodded. He didn't understand. He was 8. He shouldn't have to understand. But one day he would. And when he did, he would know that his mother fought for him. That she didn't give up. That she didn't let them break her. I swept the last of the glass into the dustpan. I emptied it into the trash. On top of the cake. The blue frosting was smeared on the bag. The little dinosaurs were crushed. I closed the lid. Then I went to the bookshelf and took out the camera. I ejected the memory card. I held it in my palm. This tiny piece of plastic. This was my weapon. This was my proof. This was the thing that would save my son's future and destroy my family's lies. I put the card in my pocket. Then I sat down next to Jacob on the couch. I put my arm around him. He leaned his head on my shoulder. "Mommy?" "Yes, baby. Can we still have cake? Even if it's in the trash." I almost laughed. Almost cried. Did both. "I'll get you a new cake, baby. A better one. With more dinosaurs. Promise?" "Promise." He smiled. A small smile. But it was real. And I smiled too. Because I knew something they didn't know. The camera had been recording the whole time. Every crash. Every laugh. Every cruel word. And in 48 hours, the whole family would see it. The house was quiet after they left. The kind of quiet that feels louder than screaming. Jacob had stopped crying, but he wasn't talking either. He was sitting on the couch, hugging a pillow, staring at the broken glass on the floor. His small hands were still shaking. His face was pale. He looked like a ghost. A ghost in a blue sweater with a dinosaur on the front. I didn't know what to say. What do you say to an 8-year-old who just watched his aunt destroy his birthday presents while his grandfather laughed? What do you say when the people who are supposed to love him just showed him that they don't? Mommy, he finally said. His voice was hoarse. He had been crying for a long time. Can we still have cake? The cake was in the trash. The blue frosting was smeared on the inside of the bag. The little dinosaurs were crushed. I looked at the trash can. Then I looked at my son. Then I made a decision. I'll get you a new cake, baby. A better one. With more dinosaurs. Promise? Promise. I grabbed my keys and my coat. I told Jacob to wait on the couch. I told him I would be back in 20 minutes. I drove to the grocery store. The same store where I had bought the dinosaur. The same store where Jacob had pointed at the drone in the toy aisle and said, "Mommy, can I have this for my birthday? Please." The same store where I had worked extra shifts at the diner to afford everything. I bought a new cake. Vanilla with chocolate frosting. No dinosaurs. But it was a cake. It was something. When I came back, Jacob was still on the couch. He hadn't moved. The broken glass was still on the floor. I hadn't cleaned it up. I couldn't. My hands were still shaking. I set the cake on the kitchen counter. I lit a candle. I carried it to Jacob. "Happy birthday, baby." He looked at the cake. He looked at me. He tried to smile. It didn't reach his eyes. "Thank you, Mommy." He blew out the candle. I cut him a piece. He ate it slowly. He didn't say anything. Neither did I. We sat in silence. The clock on the wall ticked. The refrigerator hummed. The broken glass glittered on the floor. I try to bring you new stories every day. Your like, subscription, and comment truly inspire me to keep going. Let's continue. That night, after Jacob fell asleep, I went to my home office. The room was small. A desk, a laptop, a filing cabinet. I locked the door. I sat down. I opened the drawer where I keep the evidence. The recordings. The documents. The photographs. Years of proof that my family had been trying to destroy me. I had been collecting evidence for a long time. Not because I planned to use it. Because I needed to know that I wasn't crazy. Because I needed to prove to myself that the things they said and did were real. Because I needed something to hold on to when they told me I was imagining things, that I was too sensitive, that I was playing the victim. I was not playing the victim. I was the victim. And I had the proof. The first recording was from 3 years ago. A family dinner. My father's birthday. We were all sitting around the table. My father was drinking whiskey. He had already finished 2 glasses. He was on his 3rd. "Sarah thinks she's so special with her house and her job and her kid," Jessica said. She was laughing. "She thinks she's better than us." "She's not better than anyone," my father said. "She's just luckier. And luck runs out." "What about her house?" Jessica asked. "She doesn't need that big house. It's just her and the kid. We'll deal with the house later," my father said. "First, we need to remind her who's in charge. She's gotten too comfortable. Too independent. She needs to be reminded that she's part of this family." I listened to the recording 3 times. My father's voice. My sister's voice. Planning. Scheming. Talking about me like I was a problem to be solved, not a daughter to be loved. I had other recordings too. Phone calls where Jessica demanded money. Where she threatened to tell her relatives that I was a bad mother. Where she said she would make my life hell if I didn't give her what she wanted. I had never given her what she wanted. Not the money. Not the house. Not the satisfaction of seeing me break. But she kept trying. And my father kept helping her. The next morning, Jacob woke up early. He was still quiet. He didn't ask about the broken gifts. He didn't ask about Jessica or Grandpa or Grandma. He just ate his cereal and watched cartoons. I watched him. My son. My brave, beautiful boy. He had been through so much. His father was stationed far away. His grandparents didn't love him the way they should. His aunt was a monster. And yet he was still here. Still smiling. Still trusting me to protect him. I would not let him down. My phone buzzed. A text from my father. Family meeting tomorrow night. 7 p.m. My house. Don't be late. No please. No hello. No how are you. Just an order. Just a command. Just another reminder that he didn't see me as his daughter. He saw me as a subordinate. Someone to be told what to do. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. I knew what the meeting was about. The house. It was always about the house. My house. The brick house with the little garden. The house I had bought after my divorce. The house I had worked for. The house I had paid for with my own money, my own sweat, my own tears. They wanted it. They had always wanted it. They thought it should be theirs. They thought I didn't deserve it. They thought I should sell it and give them the money. For the family, my father would say. We're all in this together. We were not in this together. They were in it for themselves. And I was done pretending otherwise. I spent the day getting ready. I cleaned the house. I did the laundry. I made Jacob his favorite lunch. Grilled cheese and tomato soup. He ate it without complaining. He didn't say much, but he ate. After lunch, I sat him down on the couch. I held his hands. I looked him in the eyes. Baby, I need to go to a meeting tomorrow night. It's at Grandpa's house. I need you to stay with Mrs. Patterson next door. Just for a few hours. Okay. Is Grandpa mad at you? Jacob asked. He was too smart for his age. He saw things he shouldn't have to see. He understood things he shouldn't have to understand. I don't know, baby. Maybe. But it's not your problem. It's mine. I'll handle it. Is Aunt Jessica going to be there? Probably. She's mean, Mommy. I don't like her. I know, baby. I know. I hugged him. I held him tight. I didn't let go for a long time. That evening, after Jacob was asleep, I went back to my office. I opened the drawer again. I took out the memory card from the camera. The one I had used at the party. I inserted it into my laptop. I opened the file. I watched the footage again. Jessica throwing the dinosaur. My father laughing. My mother sitting there like a statue. Jacob's face when the bird shattered. His tears. His whisper. Mommy, why are they doing this? I watched it 3 times. 4 times. 5 times. Then I copied the file to 3 different drives. One for my lawyer. One for the family meeting. One for me. Just in case. I also gathered the other recordings. The ones where my father and Jessica planned to take my house. The ones where they talked about me like I was an obstacle. The ones where they admitted that they didn't care about me or Jacob. They just wanted what I had. I put everything in a folder. A thick folder. Black. Heavy. The weight of years of betrayal. Tomorrow night, I would bring it to the family meeting. Tomorrow night, they would see what I had been collecting. Tomorrow night, everything would change. The next day crawled by like a wounded animal. Every hour felt longer than the last. Jacob went to school. I went to work. I stood in front of my classroom, teaching fractions and reading comprehension, smiling at my students, pretending that my world wasn't about to explode. The children didn't notice anything wrong. They never did. They saw their teacher, not the woman behind the teacher. That was fine. That was how I wanted it. After school, I picked up Jacob from Mrs. Patterson. She was 72 years old. She had lived next door since before I bought the house. She knew about my family. She had heard the yelling. She had seen Jessica leave in tears after I refused to lend her money. She had brought me soup after my divorce when I couldn't get out of bed. You look tired, Sarah, she said. She was holding a plate of cookies. Chocolate chip. Jacob's favorite. Are you okay? I will be, I said. After tonight. Be careful, she said. Your father is not a man who likes to lose. Neither am I. She nodded. She didn't ask questions. She didn't need to. She had known my family for years. She had seen how they treated me. She had told me once, years ago, you're not the problem, Sarah. They are. Don't let them convince you otherwise. I hadn't forgotten her words. I had held on to them. They were part of why I was still standing. Jacob hugged me. You'll come back tonight, right, Mommy? I'll come back, baby. I promise. And you'll be okay? I'll be more than okay. He didn't believe me. I could see it in his eyes. But he nodded anyway. He trusted me. He always trusted me. I didn't deserve him. But I was grateful for him. I drove to my father's house. The same house where I grew up. The same house where I learned to ride a bike. The same house where I first realized that my sister was the favorite and I was not. The same house where I stopped believing that my father loved me. The house hadn't changed. The paint was peeling. The porch sagged. The garden was overgrown. My father had never been good at maintenance. He had always said that was women's work. My mother had done it for years. Now she was too tired. Now no one did it. I parked on the street. I didn't want to block the driveway. I didn't want to give them any reason to complain. I sat in the car for a moment. I looked at the folder on the passenger seat. Black. Heavy. Full of proof. You can do this, I told myself. You've been waiting for this moment for years. Don't back down now. I grabbed the folder. I got out of the car. I walked to the front door. I didn't knock. I just walked in. I try to bring you new stories every day. Your like, subscription, and comment truly inspire me to keep going. Let's continue. The living room was full. My father in his armchair. My mother on the couch. Jessica on the love seat. Her husband, Mark, standing by the window. He never said much. He didn't need to. He was just there to nod when Jessica spoke. You're late, my father said. He didn't look at me. He was staring at the television. The news was on. Something about the weather. Traffic, I said. I didn't apologize. Sit down, he said. I sat in the chair across from him. The chair no one ever used. The chair that faced the window. The chair that made you feel like you were being interrogated. I had sat in this chair many times. As a child. As a teenager. As an adult. Every time, I had left feeling smaller. This time would be different. We need to talk about the house, my father said. He finally turned off the television. The room was silent. Your house. What about it? You don't need it. It's too big for you and the boy. You should sell it. It's not too big. We use every room. You don't need that much space. It's wasteful. Other people in this family need it more than you. Other people? I looked at Jessica. She smiled. That smile. You mean Jessica? Your sister is struggling, Sarah. She needs help. She has a family. She has expenses. You have a good job. You have savings. You don't need a big house. I worked for that house. I paid for it. I earned it. Jessica has never worked a day in her life. She lives off Mark's salary and whatever she can squeeze out of you. Jessica's smile disappeared. I have a job, she said. I work part-time at the boutique. Part-time. 3 days a week. And you complain about it constantly. That's enough, my father said. His voice was sharp. This isn't about who works harder. This is about family. We help each other. That's what families do. You help Jessica. You've never helped me. Because you've never needed help. You've always been so independent. So stubborn. So determined to do everything yourself. I didn't have a choice. You never offered. The room was tense. My mother was staring at the floor. Mark was looking out the window. Jessica was glaring at me. My father was gripping the arms of his chair. Sell the house, Sarah, he said. Give half the money to Jessica. Keep the rest. It's fair. It's not fair. It's theft. It's not theft. It's family. There's a difference? I asked. I was quoting him. He didn't notice. I reached into the folder. I pulled out the first document. A copy of the deed. My name. Alone. No one else's. This house is mine, I said. I bought it. I paid for it. I own it. You have no claim to it. Neither does Jessica. Neither does anyone else. We're not talking about legal claims, my father said. We're talking about what's right. What's right is that I keep what I earned. What's right is that Jessica stops asking for handouts. What's right is that you stop treating me like I'm the problem. Jessica stood up. Her face was red. You think you're so perfect. You think you're so much better than me. With your house and your job and your perfect little son. My son is not perfect. He's a child. He's a good child. He deserves better than an aunt who destroys his birthday presents. I didn't destroy them. I was just playing. He's too sensitive. You raised him to be weak. I raised him to be kind. There's a difference. Enough, my father said. He stood up too. He was taller than me. He had always used his height to intimidate me. Sell the house, Sarah. That's an order. You can't order me to do anything. I'm not a child anymore. I'm not under your roof. I'm not under your control. You'll always be under my control. I'm your father. You're a man who shares my DNA. That doesn't give you the right to control me. I reached into the folder again. This time, I pulled out a flash drive. Small. Silver. Unassuming. You want to talk about family? I said. Let's talk about family. I walked to the television. I plugged the flash drive into the side. I turned the screen back on. What are you doing? My father asked. Showing you something. I navigated to the file. The video. The party. I pressed play. The screen filled with images. My living room. The birthday decorations. The table full of gifts. Jacob in his blue sweater. Jessica walking toward the table. Her hand reaching for the dinosaur. What is this? My mother asked. Her voice was small. Scared. Watch, I said. The video played. Jessica throwing the dinosaur. My father laughing. Jessica grabbing the drone. The crack of plastic. My mother sitting frozen. Jessica stomping on the glass bird. The shattering sound. Jacob's face. His tears. His whisper. Mommy, why are they doing this? The room was silent. No one breathed. No one moved. I let the video play to the end. The last frame was Jessica smiling at the camera. Happy birthday, Jacob. Then the door closing. Then the lock clicking. I turned off the television. You recorded us, my father said. His voice was flat. Without our permission. I recorded my son's birthday party. You just happened to be there. That's illegal. It's not. I checked. I reached into the folder one more time. I pulled out a stack of papers. Printed emails. Printed text messages. Printed bank statements. I also have recordings of your phone calls, I said. From 3 years ago. From 2 years ago. From last month. I have you and Jessica discussing how to pressure me into selling my house. I have you talking about how to manipulate me. I have you laughing about how naive I am. My father's face was pale. Jessica's was red. My mother was crying. Mark had finally turned away from the window. He was looking at Jessica. His expression was unreadable. I have bank statements, I continued. I have records of every time Jessica asked me for money. Every time she threatened me. Every time she said she would ruin my reputation if I didn't pay. That's not true, Jessica said. Her voice was high. Desperate. She's lying. She's making it up. I have the receipts, Jessica. I have the recordings. I have the proof. I spread the papers across the coffee table. Dozens of pages. Years of evidence. This is what you wanted, I said. A family meeting. A chance to talk. So let's talk. Let's talk about how you've been trying to take my house for years. Let's talk about how you destroyed my son's birthday. Let's talk about how you laughed while he cried. No one spoke. I'm not selling my house, I said. I'm not giving you any money. I'm not letting you control me anymore. I'm done. I picked up the folder. I walked to the door. Where are you going? My father asked. His voice was shaking. He had never shaken before. Home, I said. To my son. To my house. To my life. Without you. You can't just leave. We're not finished. We are finished. We've been finished for years. I just didn't have the courage to admit it. I opened the door. The cold air hit my face. It felt good. It felt clean. One more thing, I said. I turned back. I've sent copies of all this evidence to my lawyer. If you try to take my house, if you try to take my son, if you try anything, I will destroy you. Not because I want to. Because I have to. To protect my family. I walked out. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. The door closed behind me. The lock clicked. I was free. The drive home was quiet. The roads were empty. The streetlights cast long shadows on the pavement. I gripped the steering wheel with both hands. My knuckles were white. My heart was still pounding. I replayed the meeting in my head. Every word. Every look. Every silence. My father's face when I played the video. He had never looked at me like that before. Not with anger. Not with hatred. With something else. Fear. He was afraid of me. For the first time in 41 years, my father was afraid of me. Jessica's face was red. Then white. Then red again. She had tried to interrupt. She had tried to deny. But the evidence was there. On the screen. On the papers. She couldn't talk her way out of it. She couldn't cry her way out of it. She couldn't call me a liar. Because I had proof. My mother didn't say anything. She never said anything. She just sat there. Crying. Staring at the floor. I didn't feel sorry for her. I used to. Not anymore. She had made her choices. She had chosen Jessica. She had chosen my father. She had never chosen me. Mark didn't look at Jessica the same way after the video. I saw it. The way his eyes shifted. The way he stepped back. He had always believed her. He had always trusted her. Now he was wondering. Now he was questioning. Now he was seeing her for who she really was. I pulled into my driveway. The house was dark. Mrs. Patterson's light was on. She was probably watching TV. Jacob was probably asleep on her couch. I sat in the car for a moment. I looked at the folder on the passenger seat. Black. Heavy. Empty now. I had left the evidence on my father's coffee table. Copies. Not the originals. I wasn't stupid. I got out of the car. I walked to Mrs. Patterson's door. I knocked softly. She opened it right away. Like she had been waiting. How did it go? She asked. It's over, I said. I don't think they'll bother me again. Good. That's good. She stepped aside. Jacob was on the couch. Wrapped in a blanket. Asleep. His face was peaceful. He didn't know what had happened tonight. He didn't know that his mother had just declared war on her own family. He just knew that she had kept her promise. She had come back. I picked him up. He was heavy. He was getting too big for me to carry. But I held him anyway. I carried him to our house. I tucked him into his bed. I kissed his forehead. I love you, baby, I whispered. He didn't wake up. He just smiled in his sleep. I try to bring you new stories every day. Your like, subscription, and comment truly inspire me to keep going. Let's continue. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. My mind was racing, going over the meeting again and again. What I said. What I should have said. What I wished I had said. I thought about my father's face. The fear. I had never seen him afraid before. He was always the one in control. The one who made the rules. The one who decided what was fair and what wasn't. But tonight, he wasn't in control. I was. And he knew it. I thought about Jessica. Her desperation. Her lies. She had spent her whole life getting what she wanted by crying and manipulating. But it didn't work tonight. Because I had proof. Because I didn't let her manipulate me. Because I was done being her victim. I thought about my mother. Her silence. Her tears. She had watched her husband and her youngest daughter destroy her oldest daughter. And she had done nothing. She had said nothing. She had just sat there. Like she always did. I didn't hate her. I didn't love her either. I just felt nothing. She was a stranger to me now. A stranger who shared my blood but not my life. I thought about Jacob. His smile. His trust. He believed in me. He needed me. I couldn't let him down. I wouldn't let him down. Not ever. I got up at 5 a.m. I made coffee. I sat at the kitchen table. The house was quiet. The sun was starting to rise. The sky was pink and orange and gold. It was going to be a beautiful day. I didn't know if I deserved a beautiful day, but I was going to have one anyway. My phone buzzed. A text from my father. We need to talk. Alone. No lawyers. No recordings. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. I had nothing to say to him. Not anymore. He called 10 minutes later. I let it go to voicemail. He called again. I let it go to voicemail. He called a third time. I answered. What? You can't just walk away, Sarah. We're family. You're not my family. You're my father. There's a difference. Don't be dramatic. I'm not being dramatic. I'm being honest. You tried to take my house. You laughed while my son cried. You've spent your whole life choosing Jessica over me. And now you want to talk? Now you want to be family. I made mistakes. We all made mistakes. But we can fix this. You can't fix 41 years of mistakes in one conversation. Then give me more than one conversation. No. I hung up. I turned off my phone. I didn't need to hear anything else. Jacob woke up at 7 a.m. He shuffled into the kitchen. His hair was messy. His eyes were still sleepy. He climbed onto the chair next to me. Mommy, are you okay? I'm okay, baby. Are you okay? I had a bad dream. What about Aunt Jessica? She was breaking my toys again. I pulled him close. I held him tight. She's not going to break any more of your toys, baby. I promise. How do you know? Because I'm not going to let her. He nodded. He didn't ask any more questions. He just ate his cereal and watched cartoons. He was 8 years old. He shouldn't have to worry about aunts who break his toys and grandfathers who laugh. He should be worried about school and friends and what he wants for Christmas. I watched him. I watched him eat his cereal. I watched him watch cartoons. I watched him smile. He was resilient. He was strong. He was going to be okay. We both were. My lawyer called at 10 a.m. I had turned my phone back on. I had to. I needed to know if my father was going to fight back. I got the documents, Sarah. The ones you sent. This is strong evidence. Very strong. I know. Your father's lawyer called me this morning. He wants to settle. He doesn't want to go to court. What does that mean? It means they know they can't win. They're scared. They're trying to save face. What do you recommend? I recommend you don't settle. I recommend you take them to court. Make them explain everything in front of a judge. Make them answer for what they did. What about Jacob? I don't want him to have to testify. He won't have to. We have the video. We have the recordings. We have the bank statements. We don't need him. I thought about it. A trial. My father on the stand. My sister on the stand. My mother on the stand. All of them explaining why they had tried to destroy me. All of them admitting what they had done. Let's do it, I said. Let's take them to court. Good. I'll file the papers today. I hung up. I felt lighter. I had spent years being afraid of my family. Years being controlled by them. Years being manipulated by them. And now I was going to face them. In court. In front of a judge. And I was going to win. That afternoon, I took Jacob to the park. The sun was warm. The sky was blue. The birds were singing. He ran to the swings. He pumped his legs. He went higher and higher. Look, Mommy. I'm flying. I see, baby. You're flying. I sat on a bench. I watched him. I smiled. I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Peace. Real peace. Not the kind that comes from avoiding conflict. The kind that comes from facing it and winning. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Mark. Jessica's husband. I need to talk to you. Alone. I stared at the screen. Mark had never texted me before. He had never called me before. He had never spoken to me without Jessica in the room. About what? I typed back. About what I saw last night. About what I didn't know. About what I need to do. I hesitated. I didn't trust him. He was Jessica's husband. He had always been on her side. But the way he looked at her last night, the way he stepped back, the way his eyes changed, maybe he wasn't on her side anymore. Meet me at the coffee shop on Main Street. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'll be there. I put my phone away. I watched Jacob swing. He was still flying. He was still smiling. He didn't know that his mother was about to have a conversation that could change everything. He didn't need to know. He just needed to keep flying. The coffee shop on Main Street was quiet at 10 a.m. A few old men at the counter. A woman with a stroller in the corner. The smell of fresh brewed coffee and cinnamon rolls. I ordered a black coffee and sat by the window. I wanted to see Mark before he saw me. I wanted to watch him walk in. I wanted to read his body language before he had a chance to speak. He arrived at 9:58. 2 minutes early. He was alone. No Jessica. No kids. Just him. He was wearing jeans and a jacket. His hair was messy. His eyes were tired. He looked like he hadn't slept. He saw me through the window. He paused. He took a breath. Then he walked in. Thank you for coming, I said. Thank you for agreeing to see me. He sat across from me. He didn't order anything. He just sat there. His hands were on the table. His fingers were tapping. Nervous. I saw the video, he said. The one from the party. I saw what she did to Jacob's gifts. I saw your father laughing. I saw your mother sitting there, doing nothing. And I didn't know. I knew she was jealous of you. I knew she talked about you behind your back. But I didn't know she was capable of that. Of hurting a child. Now you know. Now I know. He looked down at his hands. His fingers stopped tapping. He was quiet for a long time. I'm leaving her, he said. I didn't react. I didn't want to show surprise. I didn't want to show satisfaction. I just waited. I've been thinking about it for years, he said. She's not the same person I married. She's angry all the time. She's bitter. She's always complaining about you. About your house. About your job. About your son. I thought she would change. I thought she would grow up. But she didn't. She just got worse. And the video was the last straw? The video made me see her. Really see her. Not the woman I wanted to believe she was. The woman she actually is. He looked up at me. His eyes were red. I have a daughter, Sarah. She's 6 years old. She was at that party. She saw everything. She saw her mother break a child's toys. She saw her mother laugh. She came home and asked me why Auntie Sarah was crying. I didn't know what to tell her. I didn't know what to say. You could tell her the truth. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Then why are you here? He was quiet again. He looked out the window. The woman with the stroller was leaving. The old men were still at the counter. The world was moving on. Normal. Unaware. I'm here because I need your help, he said. I'm going to file for divorce. I'm going to ask for custody of our daughter. I need evidence. Evidence that Jessica is unstable. Evidence that she's a danger to our child. You want me to give you my evidence? I want you to let me use it. In court. Against her. I thought about it. Jessica had spent years trying to destroy me. She had tried to take my house. She had tried to ruin my reputation. She had tried to break my son. And now, her own husband was asking me to help him take her daughter away. Part of me wanted to say yes. Part of me wanted to watch Jessica lose everything. But another part of me was tired. Tired of fighting. Tired of revenge. Tired of letting her control my life even when she wasn't in the room. I'll think about it, I said. I'll let you know. Thank you, Sarah. I know I don't deserve your help. I've been silent for too long. I've watched her treat you terribly and I didn't say anything. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix anything, Mark. But it's a start. I stood up. I left money for my coffee on the table. I walked out. He stayed. He was still sitting there when I looked back through the window. His head was in his hands. I try to bring you new stories every day. Your like, subscription, and comment truly inspire me to keep going. Let's continue. I didn't tell anyone about my conversation with Mark. Not my lawyer. Not Mrs. Patterson. Not Jacob. I needed to process it first. I needed to decide what to do. Part of me wanted to help him. Not for his sake. For his daughter's. That little girl didn't ask to be born into this family. She didn't ask for a mother who breaks toys and laughs at crying children. She deserved better. She deserved a chance. But another part of me was afraid. Afraid that helping Mark would make things worse. Afraid that Jessica would retaliate. Afraid that she would come after me again. She had already tried to take my house. What would she do if I helped her husband take her daughter? I spent the rest of the day with Jacob. We played board games. We watched a movie. We ate pizza. I tried to be present. I tried to forget about the meeting. I tried to just be his mom. But my mind kept wandering. Back to the coffee shop. Back to Mark's red eyes. Back to his words. I need your help. Jacob noticed. He always noticed. Mommy, you're sad again. I'm not sad, baby. I'm thinking. About what? About a decision I have to make. Is it about Grandpa? About Aunt Jessica? Yes. Are they going to hurt us again? No, baby. They're not. I won't let them. He nodded. He believed me. He always believed me. That night, after Jacob was asleep, I called my lawyer. I need advice, I said. Not legal advice. Personal advice. I'm listening. I told her about Mark. About his offer. About his request. About my fear. He's using you, she said. He's been silent for years. He watched his wife destroy you and he did nothing. Now he wants your help? Now he wants to be the hero. I know. But his daughter. His daughter is not your responsibility. Your son is. Your house is. Your life is. Don't let him drag you back into their drama. What if I can help her? What if I can give her a chance at a better life? Then help her. But do it carefully. Do it legally. Do it without putting yourself at risk. I hung up. I didn't feel better. I didn't feel worse. I just felt stuck. The next morning, I made a decision. I called Mark. I'll help you, I said. But not the way you asked. I'm not giving you my evidence. I'm not letting you use it in court. That's my ammunition. I need it for my own fight. Then how can you help me? I can testify. I can tell the court what I saw, what I heard, what Jessica did to my son. I can be a witness. That's not enough. I need proof. Then find your own proof. You've been married to her for years. You know her patterns. You know her secrets. You know where she hides things. Start there. He was quiet for a long time. You're right, he said. I've been looking for an easy way out. A way to avoid doing the hard work myself. Thank you for reminding me that there are no shortcuts. There aren't. Trust me. I've learned that the hard way. I'll start looking. I'll find what I need. Good luck, Mark. Thank you, Sarah. For everything. I hung up. I didn't know if I had made the right choice. I didn't know if Mark would find what he needed. I didn't know if Jessica would lose her daughter. I didn't know if any of it mattered. But I knew one thing. I had set a boundary. I had protected myself. I had protected my evidence. I had protected my son. And that was enough. The court date was set for 3 weeks later. My father's lawyer had tried to delay it. My lawyer had fought back. The judge had ruled in our favor. The trial would proceed. I spent those 3 weeks preparing, organizing my evidence, reviewing my recordings, practicing my testimony. I didn't see my family. I didn't talk to them. I didn't answer their calls. I didn't respond to their texts. Jessica sent me a long email, full of apologies, full of excuses, full of blame. You're destroying this family, Sarah. You're tearing us apart. I hope you're happy. I didn't respond. My mother sent me a card. Handwritten. Please come home. We miss you. We love you. I didn't respond. My father sent me nothing. He was too proud, too stubborn, too afraid. The night before the trial, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Jacob was asleep next to me. His small body was curled against mine. His breath was warm on my arm. I'm doing this for you, baby, I whispered. I'm doing this for us. He didn't hear me. He was dreaming. I hoped he was dreaming of something good. Something happy. Something that didn't involve broken toys or laughing grandfathers or cruel aunts. I kissed his forehead. I closed my eyes. I tried to sleep. I couldn't. So I got up. I went to my office. I opened the folder. I reviewed the evidence one last time. The video. The recordings. The bank statements. The emails. The text messages. The proof. Years of proof. Years of betrayal. Years of pain. Tomorrow, I would show it to a judge. Tomorrow, I would tell my story. Tomorrow, I would finally be free. The courthouse was old. Stone columns. Marble floors. High ceilings. The kind of building that made you feel small. I had been here before. For my divorce. For my house closing. For the adoption paperwork when I became Jacob's legal guardian after his father left for California. But never like this. Never as the person who was about to destroy her own family. I arrived early. I wanted to be there first. I wanted to watch them walk in. I wanted to see their faces before they saw me. My lawyer, Diane, was waiting at the entrance. She was in her 50s. Gray hair. Sharp eyes. She had been practicing family law for 30 years. She had seen everything. She wasn't intimidated by my father's bluster or my sister's tears. You look ready, she said. I am. Remember. Let me do the talking. Answer the questions directly. Don't volunteer information. Don't get emotional. The judge will be watching you as much as she's listening to you. I understand. We walked inside. The courtroom was small. Wooden benches. A high bench for the judge. A witness box. 2 tables. One for me. One for my family. I sat down at my table. I placed the folder in front of me. Black. Heavy. Full of evidence. I waited. They arrived 10 minutes later. My father first. He was wearing a suit. I hadn't seen him in a suit since my wedding. He looked uncomfortable. His shoulders were stiff. His jaw was tight. My mother followed. She was wearing a dress I didn't recognize. New. Probably bought for this occasion. Her face was pale. Her eyes were red. She had been crying. Jessica came last. She was wearing black. Expensive. Designer. Her hair was perfect. Her makeup was perfect. She looked like she was going to a funeral. Maybe she was. Her own. They sat at the other table. My father didn't look at me. My mother didn't look at me. Jessica looked at me. She stared. I stared back. I didn't blink. She looked away first. I try to bring you new stories every day. Your like, subscription, and comment truly inspire me to keep going. Let's continue. The judge entered. A woman in her late 50s. Gray hair pulled back in a bun. Reading glasses on a chain around her neck. Her name was Judge Patricia Okonkwo. She had been on the bench for 22 years. She had a reputation for being fair but tough. She didn't tolerate lies. She didn't tolerate games. This is a civil matter regarding the ownership of property and allegations of harassment, fraud, and emotional abuse. The plaintiff, Sarah Volkov, is seeking a restraining order against her sister, Jessica, and her father, Robert, as well as damages for emotional distress and legal fees. The defendants have denied all allegations. How does the plaintiff wish to proceed? Diane stood. Her voice was calm, measured, professional. The plaintiff would like to present evidence, Your Honor. Video evidence, audio recordings, bank statements, emails, text messages. We believe this evidence will demonstrate a pattern of harassment, manipulation, and fraud spanning several years. Proceed. I took a deep breath. I opened the folder. I handed Diane the first piece of evidence. The video from Jacob's birthday party. Your Honor, this video was recorded on June 3rd of this year. It shows the defendants, Jessica and Robert, along with their mother and wife, Linda, at a birthday party for the plaintiff's son, Jacob. The judge nodded. Diane inserted the flash drive into the courtroom computer. The screen flickered to life. The video played. Jessica throwing the dinosaur. My father laughing. Jessica grabbing the drone. The crack of plastic. Jessica stomping on the glass bird. The shattering sound. Jacob's face. His tears. His whisper. Mommy, why are they doing this? The courtroom was silent. No one breathed. No one moved. The video ended. The screen went dark. Is that all? The judge asked. No, Your Honor. We have more. Diane played the audio recordings. My father's voice. My sister's voice. Planning. Scheming. Talking about how to pressure me into selling my house. How to manipulate me. How to make me feel guilty for saying no. She thinks she's so special with her house and her job and her kid. She thinks she's better than us. She's not better than anyone. She's just luckier. And luck runs out. What about her house? She doesn't need that big house. It's just her and the kid. We'll deal with the house later. First, we need to remind her who's in charge. The recordings went on for 20 minutes. 20 minutes of my family talking about me like I was a problem to be solved, not a daughter to be loved. When they finished, the judge looked at my father. Her eyes were cold. Mr. Volkov, do you deny saying these things? My father's lawyer stood. He was a short man with a red face and a nervous twitch. Your Honor, my client does not recall saying these things. The recordings may have been edited or taken out of context. We have forensic evidence, Your Honor, confirming that the recordings are authentic and unaltered. I'll allow the recordings, asterisk, asterisk, the judge said. Continue. Jessica took the stand next. She was crying before she even sat down. Her makeup was already smudged. Her voice was shaking. I love my sister, she said. I've always loved her. I don't know why she's doing this. Ms. Volkov, did you destroy your nephew's birthday gifts? Diane asked. I was playing. I didn't mean to break anything. I was just playing. You threw a ceramic dinosaur against the wall. You threw a drone on the floor. You dropped a glass figurine and stepped on it. That's not playing. That's destruction. I didn't mean to. Did you laugh while you were doing it? I don't remember. The video shows you laughing. It shows your father laughing. It shows your mother sitting on the couch, doing nothing. Jessica looked at the judge. The judge looked back. No sympathy. No mercy. Did you and your father discuss pressuring your sister into selling her house? No. Never. Then why do we have recordings of you doing exactly that? Jessica didn't answer. She couldn't. She had no answer. I have no further questions, Your Honor. Jessica stepped down. She was still crying. No one comforted her. Her husband wasn't there. He was at home with their daughter. He had filed for divorce the week before. He had asked for full custody. He had found his own evidence. Jessica didn't know yet. She would find out soon enough. My father took the stand next. He didn't cry. He didn't shake. He just sat there. His jaw was tight. His eyes were hard. Mr. Volkov, do you believe your daughter, Sarah, should sell her house? Diane asked. I think it would be best for the family. Best for the family or best for your other daughter, Jessica? Both. Did you threaten your daughter, Sarah, if she refused to sell? I never threatened her. I offered advice. You told her you need to be reminded who's in charge. That's not advice. That's a threat. It was taken out of context. The recording was 2 minutes long. How much more context do you need? My father didn't answer. Did you laugh while your daughter, Jessica, destroyed her nephew's birthday gifts? I don't remember. The video shows you laughing. I was nervous. I laugh when I'm nervous. You also told your daughter, Sarah, that her son was spoiled and too old for toys. Is that correct? I don't remember. The video shows you saying it. My father looked at the judge. The judge looked back. He looked away first. I have no further questions, Your Honor. My father stepped down. He walked back to the table. He didn't look at me. He didn't look at anyone. He just sat down, staring at the floor. The judge took a 15-minute recess. I sat at the table. My hands were shaking. I couldn't stop them. Diane put her hand on mine. You're doing great, she said. Almost there. I know. When we come back, the judge will make her ruling. Whatever happens, you've already won. You stood up to them. You spoke the truth. You protected your son. Thank you, Diane. I couldn't have done this without you. Yes, you could have. You're stronger than you know. The judge returned. She sat down. She looked at me. She looked at my family. She looked at the evidence. I have reviewed the evidence presented by both parties. The video footage is clear. The audio recordings are clear. The pattern of harassment, manipulation, and fraud is undeniable. I am granting the plaintiff's request for a restraining order against Jessica and Robert Volkov. They are to have no contact with Sarah Volkov or her son, Jacob, for a period of 5 years. Any violation of this order will result in immediate arrest. Jessica gasped. My father didn't move. I am also awarding the plaintiff damages for emotional distress in the amount of $50,000 to be paid by the defendants jointly. Additionally, the defendants are ordered to pay the plaintiff's legal fees. My mother started crying. Loud. Uncontrollable. The bailiff had to help her out of the courtroom. This court is adjourned. The judge banged her gavel. I sat at the table. My hands were still shaking. My heart was pounding. I had won. I had actually won. I didn't look at my father. I didn't look at Jessica. I just gathered my folder. I stood up. I walked out of the courtroom. The hallway was bright. The sun was shining through the windows. I took a deep breath. The air was fresh. Clean. Free. You did it, Diane said. She was smiling. You really did it. We did it. Go home. Be with your son. You've earned it. I hugged her. Then I walked to my car. I sat in the driver's seat. I looked at the folder on the passenger seat. Black. Heavy. Empty now. I didn't need it anymore. The evidence had done its job. The truth had been heard. I drove home. Jacob was with Mrs. Patterson. He was playing in her backyard. I watched him through the fence. He was running, laughing, chasing a butterfly. Jacob. He turned. He saw me. He ran. Mommy. He crashed into my legs. I picked him up. I held him tight. Did you win, Mommy? Did you beat the bad guys? I won, baby. I won. Are Grandpa and Aunt Jessica going to bother us again? No, baby. They're not. They can't. The judge said so. Good. I don't want to see them ever again. You won't have to. I promise. We walked home, hand in hand. The sun was warm. The sky was blue. The birds were singing. It was a beautiful day. That night, I sat on the back porch. Jacob was asleep. The house was quiet. I looked at the garden. The roses were blooming. The hydrangeas were blue. The lavender was purple. I had planted them all. With my own hands. After the divorce. When I thought I would never be happy again. I was happy now. Not because I had one. Not because my family had lost. Because I was free. Free from their lies. Free from their manipulation. Free from their control. I thought about my father. His face when the judge read the ruling. He had never looked so small. So broken. So defeated. I didn't feel sorry for him. He had made his choices. He had chosen Jessica. He had chosen cruelty. He had chosen to lose. I thought about my mother. Her tears. Her silence. She had spent her whole life watching her family destroy itself and doing nothing to stop it. I didn't feel sorry for her either. She had made her choices too. I thought about Jessica. Her lies. Her manipulations. Her cruelty. She had tried to take everything from me. My house. My reputation. My son. She had failed. She would never try again. The restraining order would see to that. I thought about Mark. His daughter. His divorce. His fight for custody. I hoped he would win. I hoped his daughter would have a chance at a better life. A life without Jessica's cruelty. A life without my father's influence. A life without the poison that had infected our family for generations. I thought about Jacob. My son. My brave, beautiful boy. He was the reason I had fought. He was the reason I had won. He was the reason I would keep going. No matter what. I looked up at the stars. They were bright. They were beautiful. They were endless. I did it, Dad, I whispered. I know you can't hear me. But I did it. I protected my son. I protected myself. I won. The wind blew. The roses swayed. The stars twinkled. I smiled. I went inside. I locked the door. I checked on Jacob. He was still asleep. His face was peaceful. His breathing was steady. Good night, baby. I love you. I kissed his forehead. I turned off the light. I went to my room. I lay down. I closed my eyes. I slept. Deeply. Peacefully. For the first time in years. Here's what I want you to know. If you're watching this and you see yourself in my story, the one who was dismissed, the one who was manipulated, the one who was told that you were too sensitive, too dramatic, too difficult, hear me. You are not the problem. You have never been the problem. The people who made you feel small, who made you feel weak, who made you feel like you didn't matter, they are the problem. And you don't have to carry their weight anymore. You can walk away. You can set boundaries. You can say no. You can fight back. You can win. It won't be easy. It won't be quick. It will hurt. But you can do it. Because you are stronger than you know. Because you have survived everything they have thrown at you. Because you are still here. And that is the only victory that matters. My name is Sarah. I'm 41 years old.